All right, our monthly segment of what we have coined. I bet you didn't know with Allison Johnston, my sweet friend, Success Mortgage Partners president, and affectionately known as the Honey Badger. And so we're going to dive in because what I love is the whole point of this episode, which we do every single month, is to help loan officers and branch managers, people, each one of you that are originating loans, to really realize that it matters to find ways to say yes to no's. And the turn downs, oftentimes there's a solution. And so the whole segment is I bet you didn't know, Allison Johnston, my dear friend. What's up, girl?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm always good when you're turning no's into yeses and loans
That's
that,
right.
hey, wait, what was the number the other day? Somebody told me on the team, you guys have turned, I think, what was that, 106 or 109 no's into funded loans in the last 60 days.
India says,
Yeah, that is a I mean, that's a lot of loans. That's a lot of
well,
commission.
it's a
That's a lot
lot
of
of
volume.
loans, right? But it's
Yeah.
also loans that our loan officer gets that they're difficult to do, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe need a little bit elbow grease. And that's what we talk about. The guidelines are the guidelines. You have
Right.
to meet the guidelines.
Right.
However,
Yeah.
there are ways to try to make the loan fit within the guidelines,
Mm,
whether it's a LOX. And we talk about this all the time, getting on the phone with the agencies. We'll
that's it.
call the agencies with the loan officer on the phone, and we want to talk it out. And
Yeah.
we also talk about if we don't like the answer, we'll call back and get somebody else that because sometimes they're busy. They don't I need somebody to talk out the file with me because I have a good
Right.
file that
Right.
that
Right.
just needs a little more elbow grease to get it to work. So and we talked about this previously. We were able to get some down payment assistance programs approved, even though they said this is what the FICO score is and this is what you need to have for this program. They set those guidelines. And by talking it out with them, we were able to get, four exceptions on credit reports where the FICO score didn't meet their requirement.
Yeah. And I love it. You know what it is? You're humanizing a data-driven file. And by being proactive to actually have conversations, you get to people that can say, you know what? Our guideline, because you were telling me about this one, I think it was one of Sharon's in the network, and it was like 640 was the minimum. I think she had like 637, 638. Strong borrower, made sense. You call, and they're like, you know what? It's a first time home buyer, and you're laying out the story, and
The file
it,
was good. It was a
yeah,
clean file.
well, and then all of a sudden, what most loan officers, and that's why I love this whole episode we do every month, because it's like I would have never known to go. Like, here's what I hear all the time: the guideline is not from our team, but the industry says this. The guideline is the guideline, and what you realize is, sometimes,
Well, I always say, show me the guideline. Let me read the
yeah, yeah,
guideline,
yeah.
right? And then the other thing is, and we've talked about this, it will always be no if you don't ask.
That's
It'll
so
always
good.
be no. And
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we just have to ask the question. Like for example, I've always heard, oh, once FHA appraisal is logged, you can never order another one.
I've
What if
heard that
I
too. Yeah,
what if
I've
I
heard that.
don't have a good FHA appraisal? I'm sorry. I mean, I love appraisers and I'm not
Yeah.
knocking them, but once in a while there are some other comps that can be used. And if they're digging their heels in because they don't want to admit if they're wrong, then you can order. I'm trying to
I
delicately,
saw that jab.
yeah,
I'm
like
just
I
kidding.
don't, and
No,
listen,
I
it's
know.
a
I'm
it's a
just
tough job. I get it.
no, no.
But if there is a material misrepresentation, meaning
Mm,
that you have comps that the
yeah,
appraiser should use, you
yeah.
can document in FHA connection and get another appraisal. What you
Wow.
can't do is, I don't like the value. I don't have any comps that support it. I just want to get a new one because I don't like the appraiser. You can't do that. But if you have, enough
Legitimate data.
information to make a
Yeah.
good decision, then you can order another one. We
Mm,
follow that same with conventional land. If I have an appraiser that maybe is from outside the area, which we try
right.
not to do, we are very diligent, but a lot of times we get transferred appraisals.
Hmm.
So it's just there are ways around and still satisfy the guidelines. A couple other things that we have found. For whatever reason, once in a while, we get a loan that will refer out. But if you play with the terms and you can do odd term loan,
Hey, I thought
term
this was
amount.
fascinating. You said this
Yeah.
week. I didn't know it. So
Yeah, you
talk
can do
about the
27-year loan, you can do 22-year loan, we don't do under 10. Nobody else really does under 10. You
yeah.
really, 10, can't do a 9-year mortgage, but you can do 11-year, whatever. And sometimes just that change in the AUS does make it get an approval. And for those, watching their databases and refinancing, a borrower might not want to do another 30-year. Maybe they're at a 27-year and they want to stay at a 27-year. So
Mhm.
you can do those odd term as well.
Hey there, if you're loving the tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss out on more cool free tips coming your way. I'd also love to hear from you. Make sure to drop a comment below and let me know what you think, or what it is you want to see next. And we'll see you on the inside. See you. Hey,
Um,
and I think that hold on, let's say real quick. I think that's fascinating because to be candid, I really didn't know that till a little while ago, a few months. I don't know. You told us about it. But think about this. You got a borrower who's wanting to refinance to pull out some of the equity, maybe to dissolve their debt, and to free up cash flow. What a selling point to say, hey, you only have 26 years left. Let's just do a 26-year mortgage. And I just think that's so powerful. And I think it's something that very few people know, but what a great tool because you know what you'll hear on the resistance side of it is, well, I don't want to extend back out to 30 years. Well, what if we didn't have to? What if we could do it at the same term and let's just pull the cash out, pay off the debt, and increase your cash flow? And now you got a real compelling loan scenario. So that's a great, I bet you didn't know.
And I would say for all our loan officer friends out there, you have to have people on your op side that are advocates for you and on your behalf that want to get the loan closed. And I think that's one of the key things that we have found is we want to get the loan closed, right? So just making sure that we have advocates for our loan officers to go and call the agencies, to go to the down payment assistant programs, to talk to those contacts that we have to look at different ways to be creative while you're meeting the guidelines.
Hmm.
There is nothing wrong with making sure the LOX gives you the information that you need for the loan, right?
Love
But
it.
you do not need all this extra stuff in the letter of explanation that's just going to open a can of worms. You meet the guidelines with what is written on this LOX, right? So, a couple of I bet you didn't know, you can get an exception from a down payment assistant program. You just got to ask. I bet you didn't
On the
know.
credit score, even if it
Yep,
doesn't hit what they say the minimum is, because we've
yep,
done it a ton. All right. What
we've
else?
done it. You can get another FHA appraisal if it's been logged.
That's a big
Bet you
deal.
didn't know that. I bet you didn't know you can talk to VA too, and you can get Tidewater if you're not happy with the value on a VA loan. Of course, you're gonna have to have comps, but you have so many days to get that done. On conventional, same thing. You can get another appraisal. Just make sure you're documenting accordingly. And I bet you didn't know about the terms. So that's
Yeah,
something you can do
that's a
too.
big one. Yeah. Hey, what's Tidewater? I know you're probably laughing at me,
VA,
but
it's just when you want them to reconsider the value.
got it. Okay.
So
Wow. Well, those are some good, I bet you didn't knows. So, all right, Allison.
absolutely.
I tell you, these are short, sweet, and to the point. And for everybody listening, thank you, Allison, for just being on the journey with our community. And for the loan officers, I really want to inspire you to, when you hear no, look for the yes. Encourage your people to challenge in a very cool way, because on the other side of every transaction is a family, is a borrower, and it matters. So thank you for your time, Allison.
Thank you so much.
Hey, and if you're listening today and you want to talk more about how to get more yeses out of the no's, book in, jump in a call with me. We'll spend 15 minutes. Go to resultswithsteve.com, resultswithsteve.com, and I'll show you what we're doing to turn no's into yeses and how to close even more transactions with what you've already got. Would love to have a great conversation. resultswithsteve.com. That actually goes straight into my personal calendar. You'll find every slot that's available for that day or that week. Find a time that works for you. Hey, and if you're listening, make sure to share this episode with somebody you think needs to know more about loans that otherwise might be turned from no's into yeses. If you're watching, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, wherever you're listening or consuming the podcast. Subscribe so that you're notified when new episodes come out. We're putting out at least 2 episodes a week, every Thursday and every Saturday. And so make sure that you are staying connected. Subscribe, share, like, and man, I would love a review. If you would be so kind as to wherever you subscribe, drop a review. Hey, and listen, if you wanted to share this on your social media, tag me. Tag me on mine, Steve_Kyles, and then we'll comment, share, and just make sure to highlight your shares as well. So thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you for being a part of my tribe. Remember this, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See ya.